Throughout history, some parts of mankind have always believed that they were the ones living in the end times, and even though they were proven wrong pretty quickly, it made me think, are we living in the end times? Now, some of you may be laughing at the idea, but if you really think about it, all it takes is one big disaster, one step too far forward in technology, or one evil politician to really mess up everybody's day. So, with all of this in mind, it should really make us ponder the fact of, oh damn, this might really be it for us. And that is why I made this video, to list off the most threatening apocalyptic scenarios mankind could face in the future, and how or if we can prevent these events from coming to pass. Now, there are two types of extinction events that could eliminate humanity as we know it, and those would be natural disasters or man-made apocalypses. And we will rank each catastrophe from that would suck if it happened to damn, to see what threatens humanity the most, Mother Nature or ourselves. Natural disasters. Let's first talk about cosmic threats. These can be anything from a giant asteroid impacting the Earth, gamma ray bursts stripping away Earth's atmosphere, solar flares setting us back to the days with no electricity, even a rogue black hole, or a neutron star that could come along and poop all over our party. Now, it goes without saying that if any one of these cosmic catastrophes happened, that would be pretty much GG's for every living creature on the planet. However, all of these things are extremely unlikely to happen anytime soon, and if they were going to happen, we would most likely be able to see it coming. Now, I'm not saying we could do anything about it, but the fact that scientists have not warned us about any type of space-related world-ending event coming down to eviscerate Earth and all of its inhabitants makes it safe to put any threats coming from the cosmos into the that would suck if it happened category. Now, let's talk about an extinction event that is actually a part of this planet, supervolcanic eruptions. As most of us Americans know, the Yellowstone caldera could completely wipe us off the face of the planet and severely clap those other countries. Now, I know countries outside of America don't really matter, but they still have people in them, so they're still kind of important, I guess. Anyway, the most recent extinction event caused by a volcanic eruption was the Toba eruption, which was around 74,000 years ago, where eruptions like this one would completely destroy everything around it, blasting ash and sulfur into the atmosphere, causing volcanic winter, which would also collapse agriculture and would trigger global famines. Not only that, but they would also create massive earthquakes and tsunamis, where only the mega rich or people that are extremely prepared would survive. Because with our current technology, there's just no way for us to prevent it, if it happened. But luckily for us, it seems like the Yellowstone volcano isn't going to erupt anytime soon, making it go into the that would suck if it happened category too. But all of these disasters are hypothetical for now. But how about the natural disasters that we have already experienced? Like climate change. Now, most of you think climate change is a man-made disaster, but it is important to note that natural climate change has always occurred. Remember, the Earth was a giant snowball at multiple points in history, and it was also very hot at multiple points in history. We are just accelerating it. Anyway, with that distinction being made, climate change is really starting to become a pain in humanity's neck, where unlike all of the other previously named events, this one is currently happening. Some of the effects of climate change include the releasing of large amounts of methane into the atmosphere due to the melting permafrost, the changing of ocean currents, and not only is it making winter into summer, and summer into hotter summer, it is also causing the sea levels to rise, forming extreme weather and making our soil unusable, which can ultimately destroy civilizations and cause the food system to collapse. If this continues to happen, it could create long-term societal breakdowns due to land loss, and while total extinction would not occur, there could still be severe population loss. So I will put it in the keep an eye out for this one ranking. But as we all know, this is not the only disaster that has taken place in most of our lives before, because we also experienced a global pandemic. And honestly, it kinda sucked. But despite what the news would tell us, it wasn't like world ending. Even though during the time it definitely felt like it, since there was no food, no toilet paper, no hand sanitizer, and especially no lotion, we got through it, and pretty effectively too. But that isn't the first time this has happened, since humanity also got through the Black Death and the Spanish flu, despite not having the help of modern medicine. Now, the reason these have not taken all of us out is because our bodies are very good at adapting, so a natural disease might take out most of us, but it's definitely not going to take out all of us. However, if a highly contagious airborne and deadly virus emerged, it could collapse global civilizations and claim millions of lives. But, like I said before, it would be unlikely to kill all humans, no matter how deadly, especially with our new protocols of preventing viruses from spreading. So it would likely be spotted quickly, contained quickly, and a cure would be created as quickly as possible. But I will still give it the keep an eye out for this one ranking. As we analyze all of these natural disasters, it seems like nature isn't really our biggest problem. Even though for most of human history we always thought that it would be a natural disaster that would take us all out in one fell swoop, or even aliens. But as technology advances and political climates change, we might soon find that the thing that threatens mankind's existence the most is mankind itself.
Disasters.
Another disaster that we are currently experiencing is ecological collapse. This kind of goes into the category of climate change, but not really, because it's more the cause rather than the effect. Since ecological collapse is just us overusing Earth's resources, like overfishing, deforestation, ocean acidification, and pollinator collapse. Climate change and the overexploitation of Earth's natural resources are two heads of the same coin, since us overusing Earth's materials is one of the causes for climate change. But they are two different problems with two different solutions. Anyway, if we do run out of enough resources to sustain everybody, the ecosystems would start to unravel, which would eventually lead to food and water shortages and massive amounts of casualties. Now, would this kill everybody? No. Because once enough people are sent back to the lobby, we would again have enough resources to sustain everybody. But with that being said, it would still have a good chance of collapsing civilization as we know it, so I will give it a ranking of keep an eye out for this one. Even though ecological collapse is kinda scary, it has not been our biggest fear as of late. Nuclear war has been, where our biggest scare of nuclear war happened during the Cold War, and our latest scare has been from Iran. Now, there are a lot of obstacles to prevent this from happening, like diplomacy, bombing their nuclear facilities, or asking them to stop nicely. But if the problem of global nuclear war somehow becomes a real thing, then let's just say the world would be a very different place. Where obviously it would cause a lot of immediate deaths, form a nuclear winter that would collapse ecosystems and cause mass starvation, and it would leave some places uninhabitable. But I'm certain some people would survive. You know, those guys with 5 bunkers and hundreds of years of food and water, just people dreaming for this to happen because they're just massive introverts. Now usually I'd probably give it a lower rating, but since we had that mini heart attack not too long ago, I will give it a ranking of this is definitely going to ruin my hot girl summer. But what could be more threatening to humanity than nuclear war? Now, we already talked about natural pandemics, but how about engineered ones? One of the most potential causes of human extinction manufactured by man could stem from bioweapons or accidental lab release involving advanced technologies such as SRISPR or gain-of-function research. These scientific methods, while valuable for medical progress, also carry the risk of creating viruses that are far more deadly and contagious than most found in nature. If such a virus were designed to specifically target the human immune system or particular genetic traits, the resulting pandemic could be catastrophic. Given the precision and lethality of engineered pathogens, the extinction risk posed by this scenario is alarmingly high, and possibly universal if not contained. So based off of this information alone, and because I really don't want to star in the new movie of World War Z, I'm going to give it a rating of we should really look into that. But out of all of the extinction events I have spoken about before, it would be unaligned artificial intelligence that scares me the most. This one scares me the most because everything leading up to it sucks too. First, fake news would emerge, then manufactured evidence in court would be utilized, and after that, scamming and hacking will become much easier. And the worst part about it is that we are already seeing the early stages of uncontrolled AI in today's modern world. But those are the bad effects of AI before it gains actual consciousness, and if it does do that, then we can pull the curtains in because the real-life Matrix and Terminator has begun. But this would only happen if an AI were to optimize its goals in ways that are misaligned with human values or survival, where it might manipulate, dominate, or even eliminate humanity to achieve its objectives. While this risk remains theoretical, it is taken seriously by prominent experts and organizations, including Elon Musk and the founder of OpenAI, due to the unprecedented power and autonomy such systems could possess. So I'll definitely put this one into the we really need to look into that category. Now, some of you may be wondering, why are none of these disasters on the rank of damn? And that is because none of them are like an immediate, this is going to happen in a few days type of deal, so you can rest easy for now. I hope that this video educated some of you about the things that threaten humanity the most in our modern world, where we hopefully are able to prevent them from coming to pass in the future. Anyway, I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, Poppy, and I will see you in another episode.